Hey, welcome back to Nomadergarage. In this episode, we're doing the finish painting on the grille, the hood, the two doors, and the front fenders. We're going to start by correcting the fitment between the passenger side front fender and the passenger side door. It's a little bit wide at the top, not quite the size of the Grand Canyon, but it's pretty big. So we're going to expand the metal a little bit, like about 1/8 of an inch. I like to get like a 3/16 inch gap all the way from the top to the bottom. So it wasn't going to work any other way other than just split the fender and weld a little pie of metal in there and weld it up and grind it down. All right, our shoot for 3/16 is just a hair under 1/4. So I think by the time I smooth that out with some body filler and paint, it'll probably be pretty close to the goal. I did get the new seat belts in, and then put the old ones in back here. So all 4 seats have seat belts. That's good. Here we have the inside of the fender. You can see the spot where I split it open and added some metal, expanding the length there. Also, the spots where I drilled through for the emblems, and I grinded down the back side of it to get it smooth. So the plan here is to anywhere where I see bare metal, I'm going to put some metal etching primer on it, and then I'm going to put some POR 15 undercoating, which I think works really well. And I'm going to try to really get it into these seams back here and up under here. And of course try to cover up all these welding areas. And then I'll spray some primer sealer over that and then paint it the same body colors as the rest of the Bronco. All right, we got the primer down. Let that set up, and then we'll move on to the undercoating. I use this Rust-Oleum self-etching primer. It seems to work pretty good. So I was tapping out this piece here from behind, and I got a split in my weld right along here. So I had to go back and re-weld that. But what it shows is I was probably too aggressive, got a little too greedy when I was bringing this down, and went a little too far. So didn't leave enough meat on the bone, so I re-welded that. Got some fiberglass in here, and I'll block that out, and we'll keep going. So I got some body filler slathered on this. I'm gonna smooth this out. I think it'll turn out okay. And there's my shop dog. Sanded, everything's ready to go. Gonna spray in some high bell primer here. One-handed. Left-handed even. We'll look and see how that turns out. Might have to come back and do some more, but it's looking pretty good. You know, guys, I'm not supposed to be making videos. I promised my wife I wouldn't make any more because they take too much time. And yet, here we are. I sneak out in the garage, take a few videos, maybe post something. So if you know my wife, and most of you guys probably do, don't tell her. And by the way, if you're watching, doesn't that make you a co-conspirator? I don't know. Philosophical question, but my pay grade. We sprayed the fender with some POR 15 undercoating. I really like this stuff. It just oozes into crevices and it dries rock hard. Nice matte finish. And according to the can, it's paintable for professional use. Wow. I guess I feel like a pro. So it oozes into crevices and dries rock hard. Wonder what it does to your lungs. Better use a mask. I painted the front core support black because I I think originally it might have been the body color, but I wanted it to be black so it wouldn't show up behind the grill. So I painted the inside and the outside. Fixed a couple rust spots down in here and here. With the help of Mama and the Marine, we got the hood off. The hood weighs a ton. Anyways, it was good to get it off because it needed a lot of cleaning, and I used a lot of power sanders, hand sanders, and got it to a point where I think it's about as good as we're gonna get it. I'm gonna spray some of this duplicate color rust fix on there. And does it work? I don't know. I have no high hopes, but it's kind of cool. It turns all your rust places black and hardens up, and then you can put primer over it. So that's what we're gonna do. There you can already see it turning black. It kind of looks like modern art of some sort. So we'll let this harden up overnight and then come back and spray some metal etching primer on it. And then we'll probably spray a couple of coats of high build primer. Even though it's underneath the hood, it's not that difficult and the results are much, much better. Okay, so it's the next day and this rust conversion stuff has hardened up. I think it's a party out here. Anyways, apparently what this does is it turns the iron oxide, chemically converts it to some kind of state that is stable and then can be covered over with primer and paint. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna spray on some metal etching primer. Why not? Does it really etch? I don't know. It sounds cool. Look at this hood. We got some modern art going here. I think I'm gonna take this down to some art studio or art gallery, hanging on a wall. Maybe some rich dude will pay me $1 million for it. And I'll say, nope, 2 million, sold. Now you can figure out all this Bronco stuff. Back to reality though. So we got the acid etching primer on there. Let that set up. And then probably tomorrow, I'm gonna spray on some high build primer on some of these areas. And then put some primer sealer on her. And then finish with some paint. It's coming along. I'm finishing up this door, taking out a few little dents. I got some more worked out right there and right there. That's ready to skim. I put some out down there, and up here, this was kind of dented in. So what I did was I took this piece of metal, put it like that, and use pliers and just tweaked it up. That worked pretty good. But in this, I got a really deep dent all the way around here. So I thought I would give this a shot, try to pull it out with the little studs and see how much I can get out. The more I can get out, the less body filler. And there you go, about 7 studs later, got most of it pulled out, and just skim that, very lightly skim that. Yesterday, shot some high build primer on all this stuff, and it came out pretty good. And if you're wondering, what is high build primer? Well, think back when you were in school, grade school, middle school, might even been high school, and you made a little spitball and you threw it at somebody or something and it stuck. Well, think of high build primer as like a zillion little paintballs that you're throwing at the body panel and it sticks. So it's not real smooth. It doesn't flow a lot. It's just there. So when you sand it out, you block it out, then any imperfections in the paint will hopefully be leveled out. And then we hit it with some primer sealer. So there's a couple areas that were of concern. There's like a little spot in here. It's hard to see, and then there's some scratches. I think a lot of that stuff will come out. I had a little bit of some work to do on that edge there. But other than that, overall, it's pretty good. So that's the next step. I'll sand it out, block it at probably about 400, and then spray some primer sealer. I missed some guide coat on here. Guide coat is just a darker color paint over the light gray. So when you go to sand this, if it's straight and you got enough product on there, you should be able to sand all the way through all the guide coat, and it should be perfectly flat. So we'll see how this works out. After a day of sanding, block sanding, here's where we're at. This fender is good. The hood is almost good. I gotta address that spot and that spot. And this door is pretty good. There's a couple of little spots here. Where are they? Oh, right here. Circle them. And on this door, there's a couple more spots. There's one here and one. Where are you? Right here. So I gotta fill those up a little bit. So once we get that done, then we'll move on to the primer sealer. And yeah, it's a lot of hours today. It can be discouraging. What helps is if you've been through the whole process before, and you know, if you keep plugging away and get to the end, it'll be worthwhile. So I'm happy with how this is turning out so far, and we'll keep going. We got the primer sealer laid down, and everything looks good, really good, except for the hood. The hood had some little spots that, for whatever reason, I must have missed, and it's not as bad as it looks here, because 95% of this is going to get sanded off. So I'll show you before and after. But the way you can catch this is, you can see there's a little bit of sheen on here, which makes it easier to find errors or places that need attention. What? What are you angry about? No. Okay, fine, I'll get you some. So this is the after shot. After sanding it out and it's ready to paint. Again, another coat of sealer. Hey, can you keep it down over there? Sheepers. She communicated what she wanted. Finish the hood with some primer sealer, a different color. It'll be okay. We'll put enough color on there. It'll cover. But this came out a lot better. I think we're on the right track. So the paint's coming in a couple of days, and we'll wait for this to cure for a few days before I block sand it out. This other stuff is all ready to go. It's all ready to sand. I'll probably get to that tomorrow. So we shot some paint today on the underside of things like the fenders and the grille. It came out good. This is interesting here. So I sprayed undercoating, put primer over it, and then painted it. So I've never done that before. We'll see how it holds up. Then when this cures in a few days, we'll flip it over, and hopefully by then we can use the portable paint booth and do the finish side, the front side, the side you see. And then we'll be done painting the panels. All right, so we got the hood and the doors covered. I didn't want to get, we're gonna flip a lot of stuff over, and I don't want to get overspray on the back side of either of these three. The fenders I don't care so much about because they're fenders and they're bumpy already, the undercoating. And this side, I don't really care so much about this either. So I asked my daughter, who likes doing this stuff? Who likes taping this stuff up? And she reminded me that there are people that do like wrapping Christmas presents. So, okay, point taken. All right, I want to take just a couple minutes to talk about the paint system I use. This is, I got this at Hobel Free, and it's the Spectrum Universal Paint System. And this is how you do it. So you take your disposable little liner, drop it in there, and then you take this little lid here. It's got a nice filter like that, and you put it in here, and then you seal it all up. Make sure you get a nice seal all the way around here, like that. That's important to get that seal pushed down on it, right? Then you take this collar, you put that on there, and then you tighten that up like that. First you got to put the paint in. Okay, just assumption there. You already got your paint in there. Then you take this guy, this adapter, put on the top of your gun, and then you put it like that, jam it on there, and twist it like that. You're ready to go. You can almost paint upside down because it's using suction. It works pretty good. And then when you're done with cleanup, you just take that liner out and the filter part out and throw it away. Good to go. Then you're just cleaning up your gun. So what happens, for example, if you don't put this collar on? Like, you get distracted and something happens, and then you put your paint in there, it's all looking good, you got your paint mixed right, and you're pasting everything. You go, okay, I got this much left to paint, this is how much paint, this is how much I'm going to put on the fender, this is how much I'm going to put on the hood, all that stuff. And so you're pasting everything out, everything's going good, but you get distracted, and then you don't put this collar on, and then you put the gun on here, you flip it upside down, and the paint goes everywhere. You can see here the mess I got. I got it on my pants, I got it on my shoes, I got it on the floor. It was all orange right here, and I cleaned that up. So, I mean, if that
you
was
got some
red,
on your face too.
do I?
Yeah.
Okay. If it was red, it would look like, homicide, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just the, don't forget the collar. Let's go check out and see how the paint job turned out.
Not a jumpy house.
The mice have been getting in here. They tore that, so I can't really zip this past here anymore. Mice. Gotta love them. They're down in here. This thing was like in a sealed trailer. I have no idea how mice get it. It's sealed up. So it's a mystery. But a mystery I don't like. So here we go. This fender turned out pretty good. Yep. This one also got a couple of bucks of garbage. Pretty happy with that. This door. Same thing. It's got a little orange tip, but it's.
Give me closest, Dad.
What?
Closest?
No, I don't think you need it. It's a little sticky, but it's okay. This door here, not bad. Got some I was trying to get 4 coats and everything so I can sand this stuff off, sand it smooth. You know, if I won't sand it probably glass smooth, but just get it like smooth. And that turned out pretty good. So the last part, I'm just going to try to bury this hood. Just bury it. It got really hot in here when I first started shooting it, so the stuff was setting up pretty quick. And so I got all the way around here pretty good. And then that last quarter that I really wanted to bury this hood is sitting on my garage floor. So that's alright. There's probably enough paint to make it work. That's the thing, you got to modify what the environment's getting at. If it's cold, you got to be really careful. You get runs. If it's hot, it's going to set up really quick, and then you just need to bury it. And with little chance of running. But there it is. I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you subscribe, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Go ahead, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. So the next video will be probably the final one in the Bronco, where we're taking all these pieces. Oh, sorry. We're taking all these pieces and we're reassembling, doing the final reassembly. All the emblems and the trim and all that stuff. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. What do you think?
It's nice, I like it. I'm surprised you're not done yet.
Well, you guys are kind of like blisters. You show up when all the work is done. Where are you guys going?
We're going to a dance.
You're going dancing? Really? Alright, well, you have a good time. Watch out, boys. And, maybe you'll help in the next episode.
Yes.
Put the hood back on. You and Mom.